Good morning, everyone. How is your day going? It is a great day, an absolutely fantastic day to be alive. If you don't believe me, well, I can only prove to you one way, and we don't want to do that at the moment. Good morning to you. How's it doing? That's right. It's Wednesday, September the 24th, 2025. Time to rise and shine.
We change the world in history right here where we're from. It's new beginning to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
Okay, we're here. We're live. We're in person. It's just me and you today. I am the other mayor of Montgomery. I know. We got a mayor, but he manages the land mass. I manage the podcast in the air mass. I'm okay. I mean, that's the way it is. I haven't been defeated yet in elections, and so I think I'll run for re-election the next time this all comes up. So good, outstanding. Good morning, everybody. Okay, then. Now, you know what time it is, right? It's time to sit back, relax, get some morning thoughts so you can get your act together. And remember, whatever happened yesterday, it's gone. Today is a new day, new dreams, new passions. Forgive those that hurt you. And you need to ask for forgiveness for the folks you hurt. Sometimes you don't even know it. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine right now, though it is time for our daily bread. A word from on high. A word from on high. Something that'll change your perspective or give you a new one. But either way, it's all good for the soul. Good morning. Again, it is, believe it or not, the 24th day of September 2025. It is a day that has never been. and it is also a day that shall never be again. It is a once in a lifetime deal. Once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and undo all the things that you do this day. And you certainly don't get a chance to come back and do the things that you should have done this day that you don't. So be mindful. It's one trip. Make the best of it. It is time for our daily bread, a word from on high. I thank you for tuning in this morning. But this is the most important part. Because the words I speak will be null and void if we didn't have something to back them up. And I think the good Lord helps us all in that area. Okay, so hang loose. We'll be back. Hopefully in a little bit here. Okay. Again, it is, what is today? Today is Wednesday, September the 24th, 2025. Again, next up, it is our daily bread. As soon as I can get my thing here squared away, I need a producer. That's what it is. It's a great day to be alive. That it is an outstanding day to be alive. And we'll be back.
Oswald Chambers said, "Faith never knows where it is being led, but it loves and knows the one who is leading." Our daily bread. Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Bill Crowder. Bill writes, "I grew up in the rebellious 1960s and turned my back on religion. I had attended church all my life, but didn't come to faith until my early 20s, after a terrible accident. Since that time, I've spent my adult years telling others of Jesus' love for us. It has been a journey. Certainly a journey describes life in this broken world. On the way, we encounter mountains and valleys, rivers and plains, crowded highways and lonely roads, highs and lows, joys and sorrows, conflict and loss, heartache and solitude. We can't see the road ahead, so we must take it as it comes, not as we wish it would be." Bill continues, "The follower of Christ, however, never faces this journey alone. The Scriptures remind us of the constant presence of God. There is nowhere we can go that He is not there. He will never leave us nor forsake us. Jesus, after promising to send the Holy Spirit, told His disciples, 'I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you.' The challenges and opportunities we face on our journey can be met confidently, for God has promised us His never-failing presence."
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from John chapter 14, verses 15 through 21. "If you love me, keep my commands, and I will ask the Father, and He will give you another advocate to help you and be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept Him, because it neither sees Him nor knows Him. But you know Him, for He lives with you and will be in you. I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Before long, the world will not see me any more, but you will see me. Because I live, you also will live. On that day, you will realize that I am in my Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. Whoever has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I too will love them and show myself to them." That's today's scripture reading from John chapter 14, verses 15 through 21.
Let's pray. Loving Lord, thank you that you not only know the path I take, you walk it with me. Help me to rely on your presence, help, and wisdom every day of my journey through life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Outstanding. What a way to wake up in the morning. Aren't you glad you can
Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
All righty then. Aren't you glad you're here to hear that this morning? A word from on high. And now, we pay homage to all of our armed forces of these United States, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine. And if you have a youngster out there that's in the military, we wish them well. We hope for all the blessings of God on them and that they remain safe. And if they are called to do anything, It is done all for the name of the good Lord, and it is done for righteous reasons. But there will come a time in life that you have to fight for things in your life, and it's a good thing. I'm proud to be in a country where we're in my own son, where we are willing to still fight for what we feel is right. And the only way to do that, of course, is have young men and women who are willing to don that uniform. It's not their job to ask why. Their job just go to fight, take care of it. So we honor them every doggone morning, because if we can hear the national anthem, then we know we are still the United States of America. Now, I will tell you, a lot of the Democrats are trying to change that, but that's okay. As a matter of fact, it's a two-part deal. The Democrats try to change it sometimes. The Republicans won't fight for it. So I guess I got to fight all by myself. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine as we pay homage to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Marines, and the Coast Guard. So hang loose, and we'll be right back.
Over hill, over dale, we will hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, cows are marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high, high in the field artillery. Count out your numbers, now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and wherever you go, you will always know that those caissons go rolling along. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day, 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 day. Through our last night on shore, hail to the fall, until we meet once more. It's wishing you a happy voyage home. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in Thee. Through howling gale and shot and shell to win our victory. Semper Paratus is our guide, our pledge and motto too. We're always ready to or die. I constantly fight for you. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, soon to be our thunder. And boys, give her the gun. And we dive, starting a flame from under, off with one terrible roar. We live in vain, go down in flame, for nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
It's time to rise and shine. We got a lot of things to talk about. What we're talking about, maybe on that.
From the halls of mountains,
We call them devil dogs. It's the best uniform in all the armed services. The United States Marine. We like to say hoorah. When the army uses hoorah. Oh, yeah. But as far as that being goes,
and to keep our honor free, we are proud to claim the title of United States
Jarhead. Good morning.
righty then. Already then. Already. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm doing pretty good. Any day above ground's a good day. So I won't complain. And even when human beings are fickle people. I know God sometimes gets kind of tired of us. If the sun comes out, we say we want rain. If it starts raining, we say we want sun. I mean, I don't really think we really know sometimes what we want. If we're tall, we want to be a little shorter. If we're short, we want to be a little taller. Okay. But I found out there's an advantage to being short. Okay. Because in high school, in my high school, there's a fence on Twinkingham. If you're from South Bend, Indiana, you know exactly what I'm talking about. At John Adams. There's a hole in the fence that I knew where it was. Okay. And I knew that I wanted a few people that could get through that hole. So when I go talk smack to the big guys, oh yeah, I will whoop your butt. Well, they knew that I wasn't gonna whoop anybody. So they're trying to figure out, is he crazy? Why is he talking to us that way? And they never figured it out. Then they started chasing me. Okay, I was faster because I had less to carry, right? So I was faster. So I would run to a certain spot in the fence around the school that I knew that I'd be the only one to get through there. So, now the next day, I will admit to you that I had to duck some classes every once in a while to make sure that they didn't see me while they were still mad. But that's okay. I made it through that. I made it through that. I made it through that. So we're good. Okay. Okay. Anyway, now lessons of life today, and then we'll continue with the show. Lessons of life. Life is like a football game. Sometimes it takes a bunch of first downs to get to the goal line. But isn't that what life is all about? A touchdown. And a touchdown is still a good thing no matter how you get it. Whether it's first downs, a long pass, it's still 7 points. Sometimes it is the trip down the field that shows us what we're made out of. So now you want you to think that. Somebody said that boiling water hardens the egg but softens the potato. It's the same water because it ain't the water. It's what you're made out of. Okay, I just thought I'd let you know that, right? So when the day gets tough, you always got to ask yourself, what am I made out of? What am I made out of? Okay, I've had to ask myself that many times in life. Do I really want to do this? So, okay, remember, boiling water, potato, and eggs. They both go in the same water, but how they come out is because of the things that it's made out of. So when it gets tough sometimes, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. If you got any boots or don't have no boots on, pull your socks up. But what are you made out of? And I will admit in the last few years, and I thought the military was going that way till Trump got in. We getting kind of soft, putting up cards up and saying, drill sergeant, I'm stressed. I thought that was a joke. I thought that was like on something that Jay Leno would say. Okay, I thought he was lying to me, but he wasn't lying to me. We have the warrior ethos is what we need. I'm liking Hexeth. I don't care what anybody says. I'm liking him. Now he ain't the most diplomatic guy. He didn't have the most experience, but it's about your philosophy in life. It's about what is our military for. Our military is to protect this country, and the enemy will not care anything about you tired. Okay, or you got this thing about the you don't want to shoot. Okay, well, don't shoot. They'll shoot at you. Believe me, they will. Anyway, move right along. Okay, now what's this guy said right before I get on to anything? I want to add to the lessons of life. Well, what's that? The preachers on Sunday use a phrase that says, every time I turn around, the Lord keeps on blessing me. Amen. I want to say that when I take another breath, okay, God is good. Absolutely. The warrior ethos, that's what we need. Now I will admit to you, the Marines have always shown that. Now the rest of the services sometimes, well, we get kind of weak sometimes, but the Marines have always showed that warrior ethos. So we need to get back to that. Who was when they bombed Pearl Harbor? What did they say? What was that Truman or Roosevelt? One of them said, "Walk softly, but carry a big stick." Okay. Good morning to you. Now I got a couple of things here. The word of the day. The word of the day. Okay, y'all gonna like this. Okay. This is the word of the day right here. Y'all gonna like this. Because see, if you look at my Facebook page, there's always a word of the day, and today's word of the day is an interesting word because until the other night, I had never heard of the word. Okay, I have never heard of it. But however, this is the word of the day. It is called nonpareil. Nonpareil. It means something which no equal it has, because it is better than any other. Okay. I mean, you are at the top of the food chain. There's nothing that can beat you. There's nothing that's even comparable to you. So we will call that non-pareil. Okay. Describe that which has no equal, because it is better than any other. Now, I will say on this earth of ours, there's only one entity I think that, there's only one entity I believe that holds that designation, and it is not I, but the God we serve in heaven is non-pareil, okay, because he has no equal, because he is better than any other. So remember that. That's the word of the day. Non-pareil. Okay. So good morning to you. Hope today finds you well. Now, before we I told you Sunday that when I went to church, there were a lot of people lot of black people walked out of church because the speaker had said something about Charlie Kirk, affirmative of Charlie Kirk, and so the black folks got up and walked out. And I tell you what, politics is an interesting thing. Okay, it's an interesting thing, but sometimes we should listen to our heart and not our head. Okay, because our heads can be changed in a millisecond. We can change our mind about a second. So what I did was yesterday I spent some time looking at some of his stuff, because he said things that I didn't agree with, but I say things every day people don't agree with. So not agreeing doesn't mean that he's wrong or he's right. I think I finally figured him out in a way. But yesterday I went to his TP USA, and I looked at some of his videos, and he had a style, as it were, about himself. It is not that he didn't like certain government systems in order to reconcile the past with the present. He didn't like good government. And listen, and I got to tell you, I don't find what he said offensive. But I object to it, to some of the things he says. But as a whole, though, yeah, what the guy says was right on point. But he didn't like the remedy that the government, by forcing people. Let's just take. I mean, listen. Let's be honest. Let's just take forced segregation. Let's take making people go places, live places that they didn't want to live. Integration. There's some black folks will tell you that it didn't really help. All it did was show the distinct differences in the resources that are giving to one side as opposed to the other side. So Charlie Kirk didn't like the system, affirmative action. And it sounds good. It sounds really good. Affirmative. Oh yeah, let's affirm this action. Yeah, let's make sure everybody gets a shot here. Okay, and it sounds good. But at the end of the day, who end up getting the best shots? Women. Okay. And I listen to them. All of these so-called programs for minorities. Well, when you come up with transgenderism and transmannerism, whatever the case may be, now they're considered minorities. So now the programs by the quote unquote government that were put out to remedy certain things now it has remedied things for people who are abnormal. We love you still, though. Don't get me wrong. We still love you. You can be abnormal. We still love you. But so he did not like the government's remedy, not necessarily the thought behind the remedy, but he didn't like the implementation of the remedy. Okay, to force people, and I've had people here in Montgomery said that that the manager told them that they had to hire somebody black. And okay, and so that means that he couldn't get the job because he wasn't black. Well, I mean, now black folks, now I must admit you, and I don't know how we reconcile that. I don't know how we do it, but black folks have heard that. Well, not the ones now, but years and years ago, we heard that you couldn't get the job because you were black. So government said, well, the remedy is now you tell somebody they can't get the job because they're white. So the implementation of the remedy is what Charlie Kirk did not like, and I am with him. On my other job, they made me take DEI classes. I mean, I just every day, every week, and if you didn't take the class, well, they wanted to almost terminate you. And so one day, in my boldness, like I'm a pretty bold guy, the head of Cumulus is a woman named Mary Berner, and she had a meeting with us one time, and I said, well, listen, and I figured I had to go clean up my desk after I told her this, but this is what I told her. I said, listen, I'm black. I've been black a long time. At that time, 50 something years. I know what being black's all about. I said, when we come to work here, and again, Ronald Reagan hit it on the head. The worst thing you want to hear is that I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. And 9 times out of 10, you're not helped. You're actually made worse than you were. Okay, because now I think there's a natural tendency for people, if they're around each other long enough, there's a natural tendency for people to get along. But when you put that big divide between us, when you tell me when government does it, see, they're like now me as an individual want to be separated. That's my call. But when government does it, when the remedy is worse than the disease, then we have problems. And that's one of the reasons why we are still talking about these situations today, because the remedy by which the government imposed was worse than the problem. I mean, I got a saying, some people like okra and some people don't. I don't like okra, but it doesn't make the okra bad. The okra is still okra. I don't know who can eat it, but some people do. And so it is not that the intent was not good. It was. It's good. But how we relay the remedy for problems. Let's put it this way: your kid gets smart with you. You put them down. You put them in the basement, and to give them some discipline. You make them stay down there for a week. No lights, no nothing, and you give him a bucket to do his business in, right? Wouldn't you call that a little bit overkill? Okay, wouldn't we call that a little overkill given the situation? And that's what Charlie Kirk's issue was. It was not necessarily it was the government's remedy to the problems. And I got to tell you, I think most of us, I've never been made to have a white friend or a black friend. It is just that it was just that when you hang around people long enough, when you hang around, you find out that every last one of us have a lot in common. And I'm gonna challenge you guys today. This is my challenge for you folks today. I guarantee you there is no one you can meet today in your journey of life today that you don't have something in common with, regardless of color, regardless of academics, regardless of what side of town you live on. Everybody you meet on this day, you have something in common with. And once we figure out what those commonalities are, then we can begin the discussion. Okay, I guarantee you, I will bet $100 that everybody you meet, you have something in common with. Okay, anybody wanna take me up on that bet today? Okay, I mean, see the number right there. You can call me because I'm right. I am 100%. No. I am 1,000% correct. Every last one. You could be in Mississippi. I could be in Alabama. We can meet at the airport, and if we talk for a second, we all have something in common. So Sunday, I was really perturbed by what some of those folks did. It just absolutely perturbed me walking out of church because. And what kind of Christian are you? I mean, seriously, a Christian. It's not just to talk about being one, and when none of us are perfect, we all got our issues. But really, the fundamental thing about being Christian is forgiving one another and understanding that we're different, but yet we're the same. I mean, I just and most black people didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. They don't vote Republican. 98% of people who vote Democrat. So they get mad because they hear it on CNN and they hear it on MSNBC, late night shows. They didn't know who the hell Charlie Kirk was. And to tell you the honest to goodness truth, I didn't know who he was till about 3 weeks ago. And when I find this article today, I'm gonna play it for you guys. He took on a young man at Texas A&M, and he just pulverized the guy philosophically. He just pulverized the guy. But the guy sat there with all of these excuses. Oh, it just got on my nerve. But and that's when was introduced to him about 3 weeks ago, and I said, "Who is this guy?" You know. So I'm telling you, we got some issues. But anyway, enough of that. He's dead and buried now, I guess, and we go on. But again, take my challenge. You won't find anybody in this town, whether you ever met them before or not, that you don't have something in common with. If you meet them today, you have, and I dare you to take me up on the challenge. I got $100 here to say I'm right. Okay, you cannot find somebody that you run into today, whether you've never seen them before in your life, that you do not have something in common with. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Oh, and one more thing. I was going through some of his reels, and you know what? This man Charlie took a white man apart one day because he he was a racist. I mean, he was an absolute racist. And here's one more thing too. Can we can we can we finally stick to a definition of what racism is? I know it gets changed depending on who's in the White House. So we need to come up with a universal definition of what a racist is. That's what we need to do. And then therefore, because we don't like somebody, we don't have to call them a racist anymore. We can say we just don't like them. So y'all let me know what you think. You can write it in my comments. What is the definition? So I know the definition of racist, but we change it every 5 years or so. Every 4 years, when depending on who's in the White House, it goes back to what it used to be. Then it goes further than what it used to be. Depending on who's in the White House, depending on the temperature of the country. So I just want to let you know that. So just let me know. If anybody wants, what's the definition in 2025? So what is the definition of racism in 2025? Because it keeps changing, brother. you know, I don't know. I really don't know what it is. Uh, he was talking to somebody the other day, and we talking about anchor babies. Well, and Trump said this, and Trump was right about this. The 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment, one of those amendments, It was not about allowing people to come to America, drop a baby, and get all the benefits of citizenship. It was never like that. It was about black folks who were screwed, glued, and tattooed, and so they would get the same rights as everybody else that comes here as an immigrant or whatever the case may be. But it was to make sure that black folks had the right and the freedoms of citizenship. Okay. It wasn't so you can just run across the Rio Grande or wherever and drop a baby and then say, hey, I get to stay in America. There is no other country in the world where anybody does that. Now, I do think that people ought to enjoy humanitarian comforts. You treat the sick, you feed the hungry, and you try to heal the sick. But that don't mean that you get to come over here at any time you want to and just take over. Now, the reason I have a problem with our immigration system right now, because now we're going around locking people up who we said, come on. You know, when Biden was in the White House, he said, come on. So that's what they did. They came on. Good morning.
Morning, Sergeant Elkins.
Morning.
I have a question. You said you was going through some of Mr. Kirk's reels on TP.
Right.
And you saw him taking apart a person that was a racist.
Right.
And then you immediately followed that and said that the definition of racist has been convoluted, basically.
And it has been.
So what made you determine that the person Mr. Kirk took apart was a racist?
Because of what he said. He said, Kirk asked him, is that in the Constitution of the United States? Okay. Something negative the guy says. He says, well, no, it isn't. He said, well, if it's not in the Constitution of the United States, he said, America, well, here's what he said. He said, America was built, and this is what not Kirk, the man he was talking to said, America was built for white men of good stock.
Okay.
And Charlie looked at the guy like he was from what? Where is that in the Constitution of the United States? He said, well, it's not there. So how dare you say that? And he kicked the guy off his platform. I said, so evidently Charlie don't mind black folks being here either.
But no, but what you just said, Kevin, he said, according to you now, you telling the story, he said America was built for white men of good stock.
That's what the guy, that's right. That was
so wait a minute. No.
Then that means he was talking to. That not Charlie.
I know. Yeah. I know. I'm following you.
Okay.
But then that man, he excluded white women too, right?
But brother, listen, we didn't have nothing to do with the white women. The white
men. But I'm saying the gentleman Mr. Kirk was talking to, if he said America was only meant for white men of good stock, that means he excluded white women.
Well, he may have. I don't know.
Well, no, not that he may have. If you said that the statement he made,
right,
was,
but they didn't give
America must.
Right, he said that the time America was built, and let's face it, women didn't get the right to vote till 1922.
I understand, but that statement, I'm going by your definition.
Right.
Not only did he say that it wasn't meant for African Americans, but that meant that it wasn't meant for women.
Right. Maybe not then. I don't know.
But I'm just saying, so when you talk about the definition of a racist, so because he said that, and I'm just trying to get to your definition, because that meant that women, so did that make him a sexist as well?
I think it would. Of course it would. I mean, he did white men of good stock. What the hell does that mean?
I understand, but so I'm just trying to get to what you're saying, like, you know.
But we keep changing. We have been changing the definition. Racism means this. At least the old dictionaries I looked it up in means people who think they are superior to you because and only because of their race. That's what that.
It seems like this guy had a problem with gender too.
Well, maybe so, but that depends.
Not maybe so. If he made the statement that America was only meant for white men of good stock.
Yeah, and that's what Charlie looked at him like he was crazy and beat him down.
Okay. Well, it's like, Kevin, when you talk about racist, it's like what the Supreme Court said with pornography. You know it when you see it.
And you do, but we do keep. In other words, if I don't get the job, does that mean that I didn't get the job because I was black, or I didn't get the job because maybe the guy was more qualified than me? I mean, we
Well,
use
I
racism
mean,
for everything.
again, I'm with the Supreme Court. You know it when you see it. So when you're talking about keep moving the goalposts, but this is what I want to ask you, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe? Okay, when I first joined the Marines, we had to take classes called HUM-RAIL. It stood for Human Relations.
Yeah.
Did y'all do that in the Army?
Yes, we did. Didn't help much, but we took.
But it was prescribed classes that you had to take.
Right.
Human Relations, HUM-RAIL classes.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think the military? I'm just asking. Coming out of civil rights, coming out of that era, and we had to take classes with our fellow Marines, fellow soldiers for human relations. There was a time that was needed. Why do you feel that the military had to have soldiers and Marines take human relations classes, HUM-RAIL?
Because all the folks in the military, you know this better than I do, are from the civilian world. They come from all parts of this country, all cultures, all demographics. So the problems that we have out here, they are magnified in the military because that community is a lot smaller than the overall population of the country. So we're bringing in people with different thoughts, just different views. And so, we need to, because we in the military, the Marines, whatever the case may be, we got to be one family.
So listening to that means that even though we all attended basic training, we all drunk the same water, went through the same mud, sweat together. Even though we went through basic training and we were one unit, when we got to our permanent party, we still needed to be developed as individuals.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. I mean, I thought my name when I got to Fort Lewis, I thought my middle name was the N word. But
fast forward now, 20, 30, 40 years later, you don't have to take those classes. They've done away with those classes. There are no more HUM-RAIL classes today.
Yeah, I don't know if they still have any human relations classes.
I'm telling you that they don't.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because I think, again, sometimes the government's remedy is worse than the disease. And you can't make people like each other because you tell them to. It has got.
Well, this is. I would disagree. I think that there comes a time that when your son is learning to ride a bike, he needs to have training wheels on those bikes to give him confidence. As he rides and as he grows and as he becomes more confident, you can take the training wheels off. Doesn't mean that the remedy you had was wrong. It just means that as he matures and get confidence, he no longer needs that. And I think sometime as a country, as we grow and as we develop the things we had in place, sometime are no longer needed post civil rights. So it didn't mean that the governing remedy was wrong. It's just that at that time it was needed. There are kids today that are riding bicycles still need training wheels because they have not developed. So I think as a country, there were things in place that we needed.
Right.
And the only reason I'm saying that is I think there was a time in the country we needed affirmative action.
There was a time. Absolutely.
So, okay. So when you're saying the government remedy is worse than the problem, that sometimes I think that's a different point of view. And I'm not necessarily agree with it. I think there was a time that you needed programs until we got mature enough that you don't have to have it.
Right. But Charlie Kirk's problem with the programs is that we have encompassed voluntary things that we do to ourselves as a civil right to be able to do it, like transition. We had people getting fired because they did not want to call a man a woman. They knew he was a man.
But I think you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And what I'm saying is that for a young man of 31, at his point of view, he never recognized the validity of the programs. Now, whether you need them today or not could be argued or debated. But when you say that programs, training wheels were never needed for a country coming out of slavery, coming out of civil rights, you needed programs to get us. We're a young country. We're just getting ready to celebrate 250 years.
Right. But here's our problem. You cannot claim every disagreement, every job lost, every situation where you don't like somebody. You can't claim it.
That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous. Nobody would say that, Kevin.
But we are doing
But you
it
don't.
often. We do it
No, we're
often.
not claiming every situation.
I
So
didn't
when
say
you
every-
went down to Cumulus, if they didn't hire you, you think it was because you were short and black?
Well, let me
It
tell
was you didn't have the skills at the time. You didn't have the experience.
Well, actually, I went to Cumulus. I did, but since you brought that, let me tell you what they did do. I went down there one day and I said I'm looking for a job, and the guy who worked there, he worked for WLWI FM. He said, "Oh, we play country music." I said, "Okay." I said, "Can I put an application?" He said, "No. We play country music." Yeah, I can play some country music. He said, "No, you don't." So basically, what he was telling me. What he was telling me, Negro, we don't play rap.
Yeah. So, but I think, but you didn't say that it was because of who you were. And again, I don't want to get too far from what our initial conversation is that I think sometimes you need training wheels until you can get to a point where the training wheels are no longer needed.
Right.
This country needed some training wheels.
We did, but do we still need those same wheels? I don't believe
so. It depends, Kevin. I'm in the industry where sometimes, people can redline. You know what redlining is?
Well, I know what it is, and sometimes it needs to be some redlining.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Kevin, you're making my head hurt. Should I take a Tylenol? I'm just asking.
Listen,
can you still take Tylenols?
I've seen the neighborhoods, bro. I've seen those. When I got here, go down Troy Highway, beautiful apartment complex they had way out there. Look at them now.
My head hurts, sir. Let me go because I need to take a Tylenol. So you're saying we should be redlining in some parts of this country?
There's some people I don't want my neighborhood.
God bless you. Thank you, sir.
And listen, be honest with yourself. You know you got some people you don't want in your neighborhood. Okay, let's just tell the truth now. People who change the oil in the front yard, barbecue in the front yard. Come on, man. Listen, go down Troy Highway. Look at those. They used to be called Regency. And I've been here 34 years. And when I got here, absolutely fantastic. And it's not color, it's culture. It is culture, okay? And not color. And again, sometimes we get color and culture mixed up together, okay? And if you telling me that nice neighborhood you live in, that you want somebody moving next door to you that's changing their oil in the front yard and all that money y'all pay to get your grass manicured, get your streets swept, keeping everything up. If you telling me somebody lying to me, okay? We don't want everybody because of their culture, not because of their color. Because there's some neighborhoods you can go down, you don't know who lives there. You don't care who lives there. And then there are some neighborhoods you go down, you know exactly who lives there by the cultural personality of the area. I'm just telling you. Now we don't got to be honest. We don't have to be honest. We can just say we can. It's like walking past the graveyard, acting like ain't no dead people over there. Yeah, they dead. Yeah, they sitting over there. Yeah, they there. And so you can deny it, but that don't make it so. So moving right along to other things. Move right along. We used to have again. His issue was the application of the program, not necessarily the program. We all know you cannot be in this country without realizing that we had our own issues initially, and we may have a couple still. We may have vestiges of that because we got people in America now still at 80 years old, 90 years old. They grew up at a time in this country where that was the accepted behavior. Okay, it was the culture back then. I don't think it's so much of the culture now, though. But people do get tired every time something happens. We call it racism. Okay, I'm not using double time. Okay, somebody said we need supply and demand. The demand for racism exceeds the supply. The demand again. What's the definition? We keep moving the ball. We keep moving the ball. Okay, you're confusing personal choice with banks and institutional being biased. Well, listen, when I went to and when I'll just tell the story. When I got here, I went down to the bank, Maxwell Credit Union, and tried to uh, get a mortgage on a house. They turned me down. They turned me down. Now, so I said, well, and I didn't know why they did it. I'm thinking, well, maybe because my credit sucked or something like that. But on the way out the door, again, there's some cultural norms that I hope we have gotten over. But on the way out the door, he said, hey, but we will finance you a car. And I looked at the guy and I said, so let me get this right. I can have your car in Seattle in 3 days, I'll be gone. But a house, which is not going anyplace, it stayed right here, and you won't, because all you gotta do is have me evicted if I don't pay the bill. But the car, I can take that car any part of America I want to, and you'll catch hell finding it. That was before we started putting all these tracking devices on cars. So, and again, culture, and I agree with you. There's some cultural traits that all of us have, all of our communities have, and but I'm not saying. And listen, you can tell people who have been intellectually dishonest because they think disagreement means hatred. No, I love I love black people. I'm a black people. I love us. Yeah, I love. As a matter of fact, there was a survey done in America. I think I said it last week that the black culture is the most influential culture in this country. You know who's second? Believe it or not, Japanese. Japanese. We are there are more things that black people do that America has taken to heart than any other group of people. Our swag is cool. We're great athletes. We are, and now I think from what I can tell, I'm looking at the barometer here. We pretty much coming up on intellectual side too, except for Tyson DeGrasse, who I think is crazy. But other than that, though, we have some really, really, really smart black folks. Okay, so we're coming up, but the culture, and it's almost like we're going backwards. We are not expecting as much from our kids in public school because they're predominantly black, and we make excuses for their behavior as opposed to to expecting more, like this program I was telling you about yesterday about the Rosenthal Pygmalion study in 1964 and 1968 and 1965 to 1968. So we know, we know, oh, we know that high expectations will produce a better result. The bank's credit score discrimination. Now let me look at this now. And insurance companies which I found out lately is not supposed to look at your credit score when they but they do. They use it. When I got here, I went to Alpha Insurance. They wouldn't give a brother no insurance. They said because your credit score was jacked up. I said, yeah, but if I pay you, I'm covered. If I don't pay you, I'm not covered. So insurance company. Now I don't know if it's true or not, but what I've been, because there's so many lies on the internet, you don't know what's true or not. You don't even know. But they told me that you're not supposed to. When you get insurance for a car, the only thing they should know is the make and model of the car. Okay, that's what they're insuring. They're not insuring who you didn't pay. Okay, so and Alpha Insurance, and I never went back to Alpha. Now that I'm in a position where I can, afford a little bit of insurance, now I'm getting insurance broke. But anyway, so that's what, again, so we keep changing the metrics. We keep changing the definitions of what racism is. Disagreement. Now listen to me very well. Disagreement is not racism. Okay. Disagreement is not racism. We may disagree. I don't disagree with you because of your race. I disagree with you because of your mental attitude. I disagree with you because your thought process is wrong, in my opinion. And that doesn't make you wrong. That just means I don't agree with you. That's all. That's all that means. Okay. And then I love this one. Self-hatred. What a bunch of sap. Really? Really? Oh, I hate myself. I'm not going around here killing black folks. Other black folks are killing black folks. So do they hate themselves too? Give me a break. Listen, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. If you're gonna argue with me, give me something to argue about. Give me some reason and logic in your argument here. Come on, self hatred. Give me a break. I love myself, as a matter of fact. I love myself too much sometimes, as a matter of fact. And I'm not saying. And listen, there are always going to be people. There are always going to be people who don't like you for whatever reason. For whatever reason it is, there'll always be people who do not like you because you're too tall, you're too short, you're too ugly, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're not smart enough, you are too smart. You wear black hats with white stuff on it. There's always going to be somebody. So we just gotta figure that out because there's always somebody who's not going to like you. I just That's just the way it is. Okay. That's just the way it is. Okay. Again, our numbers here, if you want to give us a call, 521-2963. I'm willing to have the conversation. Okay. I'm willing to have the conversation. That's all I'm saying. Okay. But anyway, so listen to this man came up to Charlie Kirk and he said, well, what was America built on? And the white guy said, well, it was for white men of good stock. And Charlie looked at the guy like he fell off the turnip truck. I said, well, show me that. He says, show me that in the Constitution of the United States, where it says America was built for white men of good stock. Okay. Now, these are two white guys talking, right? Two white guys talking. And Charlie had a conniption fit on that, And so for those folks going around talking about he was a racist this and a racist that, well, y'all just don't know what you're talking about. But he complained about the remedy. Okay. Not the cause of the remedy, but he complained about the way the remedy has been applied. And now it is applied. If you say I'm a dog lover, like the end up, they had something called the Men and Boy Love Association or some kind, where men in California actually think it's okay to be pedophiles, and they want civil rights protection because they say they have a right to do that. Really? Okay. So his thing was, well, you can't protect everybody in every weird organization and everybody because they say they're covered under the civil rights. Let's take one that everybody knows about. Let's talk about men who play in women's sports or want to go in women's dressing rooms because they identify as a woman. They, according to the Biden administration, now the Supreme Court has really said not only no, but hell no. Okay. Because some of us still got good sense. But the Biden administration used the Civil Rights Act to allow these people crazy as crap to do things that no normal human being would do. Okay, like think you're a woman. I mean, thank you, thank you, or whatever. Okay. Well, now I'm going to have to disagree with this one. It is what keeps black folks together. I don't know. I'm black, and I don't me and most of my compadres we disagree philosophically on this whole issue. And again, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but everything that happens to you has got little to do with racism. It just does. Let us define what it is. Let's get a consensus on what it is, the definition of it. Because evidently, the old definition of people who think they're smart, people think they're better than you, solely based on the color of their skin. Now that's racism, right there. It's not that they won't hire you. That's discrimination. Okay, though not because every time you lose a job, when I was the only black talk show host and talk radio in this town. Now, I've been the only one in this town for years. Okay, so when they said, "Well, we got to cut you loose," well, I could have screamed racism if I wanted to, but I didn't. It's their business. They can do with their business what they want to do with their business, and the best way to fight that argument is come up with your own business. Okay, but I could have did that. I could have fought that. I was the only black person on 1440 for years since I've been there. I was there. Um, so I'm just saying, every sometimes they just got to break your plate, you know. So I've never used it. Now, don't get me wrong. I said, well, listen, I might as well play this game too. But I intellectually, I could not, I could not do it because then I would be a hypocrite. Some people think I am already. I would be a hypocrite telling people all these years, if people don't want you, don't beg to stay. Just leave. Okay. So Charlie did take this boy to task about his racist, and that was it. And since the young man said America was built for white men of good stock, and Charlie just ate the guy up. Show me that in the Constitution. Okay, so for all those people on Sunday got out and left, well, you because of something that you heard, because it had to be something that you heard, because obviously you didn't know. Now he disagreed again. He disagreed with affirmative action. I did too. I did too, but it was needed at some point in time in the 60s, the 40s, the 50s. Sure, it was in the 60s, and probably in the 70s also. But coming from that to from the 80s and 90s, it's always going to be there. There's always going to be somebody that don't like you. Always, you know. We make up 13% of the population of America. Hispanics make up a bigger portion of the minority group than we do. So whatever status we had as a minority is surely shrinking because we all vote the same. 98% of us who vote for one party. So the Democrats don't have to do anything for you because they already got you. The Republicans won't do anything for you because they know that the Democrats got you. 98 out of every 100 people that black people vote Democrat. Nobody else does that but our people. Nobody else does that but my folks. That's it. Yeah, I say my folks because I'm one of y'all. Y'all may not claim me, but I am. But I'm one of us too. Um, when we condemn a group of people for a few criminals in their group, it's self-hatred. I'm not condemning a group of people, so I don't know where that comes from. But I do know one thing. I do know one thing. In most urban cities in America, and private and schools that are haphazardly ran, where the criminality is, and the most people getting shot in America are black folks. Now you can say what you want to say. Denial is a river. Okay, denial is a river. I don't know much. I don't know much about it. About the Nile, the Nile River. But I'm telling you, right now, you're a cousin to them, because if you look in this country right now, there are almost 12,000 black young men killed every year in America. 12,000 between the ages of 15 and 35. So you can give me this political BS all you want to. Okay, hell, I don't trade. I'm trying to get the other brothers not to hate nobody. Okay, so 12,000 black young men, and we added to that. We added to that this weekend. Okay, I think we had some women die though. Now we're taking everybody. Okay, so again, you can, and it's because of a culture. Okay, but I don't condemn a whole group of people. But you cannot deny what's going on in this country when it comes to the carnage that's going on in our communities. You just can't. I mean, you can deny it if you want to, but that don't make it so. Okay, that don't make it so. 12,000, which means the last couple of years we've had almost 36,000 young men killed in America, but they were black, based on shootings and murders and homicides. So, hey, you can set you remind me of the person who closes their eyes and says nobody can see me. Okay, well, that's foolish. You're the one sitting there with your eyes closed, so you can't see us. I'm just saying, you might want to think about that. See, I've been doing this job a long time. I've heard the arguments. Okay, again, we used to be the group of people in this country who had the pursuit of excellence was not a choice. It was something that we had to do. Okay, was it fair? Probably not. But did we benefit from it? Yes. Because if you lift weights long enough, what happens is that your muscles get stronger. You get stronger. Okay, falling down never made anybody strong, but getting up every time you fall, it does. Okay, so stop all that whining, Carmilla. Stop all that whining. People, you what? When you condemn a group of people for a few criminals, we ain't talking about just a damn few criminals. We talking about a whole lot of criminals. But who in the world has condemned everybody? Okay, okay. Whew. See, this is what's wrong. This is what's wrong with our culture now. Okay, the bank's credit scores are discrimination. Sure, they are, but banks get to discriminate on your because of your credit score. And here's a question I ask you: is a credit score is it a reflection of whether or not you pay your bills? Or you pay your loans off. And I tell you what, I've been on both sides of that. I had a 700 something credit score, and then all of a sudden, I don't have a 700 anymore uh, because I don't, because job loss. There are reasons for it, but again, your credit score does say something about whether or not you can maintain a payment plan. That's just what it is. Okay, and oh, now Camilla, let me tell you something here. I know you ain't gonna think I'm gonna say this, but there are more white folks in America with bad credit than black people. I'll say, okay, and some of them can't get some of them can't get a credit either. So, and again, I was telling that story, but I went to Max and I tried to get a loan for a house, and they said no. But on the way out the door, the guy said, "Yeah, but we'll give you a car." And I looked at the guy and said, "Well, but I can take the car to Seattle. You'll never see it again." He said, "But that's just the way it goes." I said, "Okay, all right." But I didn't take the car because I didn't need a car. I had a car, but I needed to buy a house. Okay, so I'm not condemning anybody. Let me see here now. Affirmative action and DEI doesn't judge people on their merits. That's true. But if I'm going to be intellectually honest, Greg, these programs came about because people people weren't being judged on their merits in a fair way. So I'm not saying, like Willie said, listen, we needed initially we needed these programs. I didn't really like it because what it did was it gave people a reason to question my abilities. Okay, and I think the military is probably one of the few places where we didn't really have to put up with that. These are the courses you need to take. These are the proficiency scores that you need to get, and if you get the proficiency scores and you get the books and you learn this, then you're gonna get promoted. You go on the list. So but civilian world, we still got some issues there. We still got people who are probably being discriminated against on. But is it because of color, or is it because of culture, or personality? I think probably a combination of all three. So and you're not going to stop it. You're just not going to stop people from not liking people. Okay. Okay. Code word is culture. You know who you're talking about. But let me think about that for a second. Let me think about it a second. Now you got to remember, now I'm black. I've been black a long time. Which culture in this country has more people getting killed? Let's go there for a second. We came up with music. We were the best. We were the best musicians in this country for a long time. We came up with something called rap music. How's that culture worked out for us? It's the first time in history a brother gets killed because he wrote a lyric to a song and somebody didn't like it. Which culture? Which culture is doing all this killing around America right now? Just this weekend, we lost 5 people in the city of Montgomery. So which culture are we talking about? Okay. But now, if you know, oh, oh, Greg's statement is false. Hmm. Let me see. Proverbs. Oh, what does Proverbs say? A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. Okay, I hear you. Listen, you can talk all that crap all you want to. That does not change the facts of what's going on in this country with some of people in our culture. That you need to get out more often. Hey, listen, hey, go to Chicago. Take a trip to Chicago. Just walk down the street. Okay, there are parts of Birmingham right now. You walk down, hell, there are parts here. So just go down. Just go down. Do you think I like saying it? Seriously, do you think I like saying it? I got 2 boys that are black, and the daddy is black. So do you think I like bringing these things up? And there's some great people. Matter of fact, one of the richest tech guys in America, it's a black man. Now you never hear about him very much because he ain't out there. Okay, so Joe says that Greg's statement is false. So let's see what did Greg say. Okay, he says affirmative action and DEI doesn't judge people on their merits. Well, I don't know all the standards and the specificities of DEI, but the fact of the matter is, the word affirm can mean either or. Are we affirming that we're going to put somebody in that job of a certain breed or a certain color? Maybe so, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not being judged on their merits. Affirmative action was actually, I thought, was a program that gets you in the door. I thought it put you in the door. Didn't keep you in there, but it got you in the door in front of somebody who can make the decisions. Okay. So I don't know, but I'll let both of y'all come on the air with me if you want to. Y'all can discuss this, Joe, you and Greg, because I can't discuss it for you. Okay. A right-wing talking point. DEI is not about unqualified people getting jobs. It may not been about that, but it certainly, I've seen some. It certainly hasn't brought the best and the brightest, okay, to some of these positions. Okay. So again, it's kind of like putting women in the military. We want to be fair to the women, but women naturally cannot carry the things that a man does. Okay. God did not make them. A man can't have a baby and a woman has a hard time picking up 10-gallon cans of fuel. Okay. Okay. They're not physically strong enough to do what men do. And all they do most of the time in combat units is get in the way. Okay. You can't change nature. God made women for certain things. He made men for certain things. We are the warriors. We are supposedly, according to some, the providers. But women are great at what they do. Matter of fact, I think women are more intelligent than men. If you want to know the honest truth, I think natural intelligence, God gave women that to make up for them not lacking the strength. Because you better listen to them sometimes, because most of the time they know what they're talking about. Okay. So I think and women can fly planes. Absolutely. I think women by nature is more intelligent than men in the general sense. But they get these emotions mixed up and things, then all intelligence goes out the window, especially a certain time of the month. So we just have to, we just got to deal with both sides of them. Anyway, move right along. Right wing talking point. Drake wants, what did Drake say? Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Okay. I don't know. And I still ain't figured out what this word means, right? She gave me, let's see, a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. Tongue is a what? Metonymity? What that mean? I don't know what that means. Okay, that's okay. Moving right along to other things. There's something else happened yesterday in Alabama that I wanted to ask you guys about today, unless y'all want to still stay on this subject. But I wanted to ask you about. There's a man that's getting ready to be. He was sentenced to the gas chamber or whatever, Big Yellow Mama, whatever they're going to do it. A guy named Jeffrey West, near 30 years ago, he killed somebody, and he's scheduled to be executed tomorrow on September. September. Yeah, tomorrow, Thursday, September 25th, and Friday on the 26th. Just in case that don't work out. The people's relative, the person he killed, their relatives are asking the governor to commute that death sentence. My question to you guys is, should the relatives of the victim be able to ask that of the court? And the governor has responded by saying, well, I got a duty to follow the law. But if in fact you can change nature, I don't think you can change nature, my friend. You can mess with it, but nature will win every time. But let me get back to this. If somebody killed my child and they got to him before I did, and he's in jail, but I have a change of heart. I said, no, Governor, I don't want you to kill the man, because then we got somebody else died. Should the governor listen to the people who were harmed and say, hey, listen, this won't bring them back. The man made a terrible mistake. This will not bring our person. By killing him, now we take somebody from two families. What say you? I kind of think that should carry some weight. If the people who were harmed say, at some point we'll all meet again, and at some point, everybody's going to pay for what we do one way or the other. So I think the governor should listen to these people. Okay. He said, it is a commandment to forgive. It's a hard one to do, but the Lord says do it. He also says, moving forward, I would like a relationship with Jeffrey West's family from here out. Okay. He said, I don't want the man to die. I just think that's commendable for the family. And I think the governor should listen to it. Yeah. I think you just, we just have, sooner or later, everybody dies. Sooner or later, everybody dies. So it's not like he gets a pass to live forever. Everybody dies at some point. So I don't know. So what say you guys? I just think that the family should be listened to here. Well, I think so. What do you guys say? I think that is. Anyway, I have to go get me my glass of milk right quick. So I got to get a glass of milk this time on. So I want y'all to think about that for a second, and I'll be right back. But should the family of a victim, should they be listened to by the governor on this execution that is scheduled for tomorrow? I think they ought to be listened to. Again, I just think I just think it's the right thing to do. Okay. So I'll be right back. Got to get me. I'll be back in a couple minutes here. Be right back.
In the quiet of the morning light, hands raised high in pure delight, thankful whispers in a gentle breeze, grateful heart with such sweet ease. Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals and the joy every moment filled with your warm embrace. Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight.
Okay, we're back.
Every shadow, you are my light.
Okay, let's kill that. Now, just in case you guys want to know, okay, so this is Sprite, okay, sugar free, okay, Sprite, sugar free. It's sugar free. It ain't got no sugar in it. Guys, I want you to know because I'm not supposed to drink sodas with sugar in it. Okay. The numbers here. If you want to give us a call, you can't change nature. You can mess with it, but you can't change it. So anyway, so nobody wants to comment on the family, huh? Who wants the governor to commute the death sentence to a life sentence? I'm with the family. I think killing somebody else. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody to let somebody live. Ooh, well, that's some good stuff right there. I'm not even missing the sugar so much anymore. I've been doing a good job. Anyway, err on the side of the family, and I think the governor should. So I'm gonna have to call the governor's office. Are they open yet? Okay, I'm gonna have to tell her that we don't want the guy to die. I mean, he did wrong, and if the family can't forgive him, then the state ought to be able to forgive him. Okay, if the family of the victim, okay, I think we should be the. My texter says some women are stronger than men. Show me. I mean, if they were born a woman, show me that. And listen, there's always an exception to the rule. There's always an exception, but by far more men are stronger than women naturally. Okay, our chest is bigger, our arms are bigger. So I realized that there's some women who couldn't figure out what they wanted to be when they was in the womb. So they and they came out like almost like strong as a man. I got that part. But if I take 10 women just off the street and 10 men don't know who they are, I guarantee you that the men will naturally be stronger. Okay. I mean, I don't know why women just can't take their fate and say, listen, you do many things better than men, but you are not as strong as we are. I don't know why they have a hard time dealing with that. We can't have babies. And I don't want to have one. But so y'all can do that. Y'all are the carriers of life. Probably the most, if not the most, one of the most, or if not the most important thing in the human species. So you get mad because I say that you're not as strong as men, because you're not. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, you raise our kids. You raise me. I mean, so we good. Y'all have your. And again, listen. I've already given you guys the intellectual part of it. I think women are naturally more intellectual than men, except they just have that thing going on once a month, and they lose their mind for a week every month. And other than that, though, y'all doing pretty good. So let's not get all messed up. It is what it is. Okay. So let's not. Okay. I don't know why women get insulted when I say that. You're not. Okay. Wait a minute now. So it's worse than the sugar? Really? But it says zero sugar. It says zero sugar. So how's that worse than sugar? Come on, man. Really? Now you're finna mess my whole day up. Right wing talking points. Move right along to other things. There are other things to happen in the state of Alabama. Capital and they delivered a petition to the governor. As a matter of fact, asking her not to kill the guy. Okay, Governor Kay Ivey sent a letter to Will Berry, which said in part that the execution of Jeffrey West is part of her duty to carry out state laws. and this is from somebody named Gina Maula. Okay, I wonder what her number is. I can give her a call. Let me see. Let me see if she's in, because I don't quite understand this. Okay, so 334 2 4 2. 7100. Okay, 71. Okay, 7100. Okay, is that 7100? Yeah, it is 7100, right? Okay, 242 7100. Okay, let me just read some. Okay, I'm just gonna try it. What's her name anyway? Hey, I'm looking for your communications person. Her name is let me see, what is her name? Mayola?
Yes, Gina. Let me get you down to their office. Give me 1 second.
Okay then.
Bernard Blues and Barbecue is September 6th through 7th in Coleman.
Governor's press office.
Hey, is this Miss Mayola?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? My phone cut out.
Yeah, I'm looking for the press. Mayola. Oh, what is her name?
Gina?
Yeah, I guess that's who that is. Yeah. Is she in?
Sure. Can you tell me what your name is and what you're calling about?
My name is Kevin Elkins. I'm calling about the execution where the family said they don't want the young man killed, and I'm just trying to figure out why the governor will not, um, uh, adhere to their wishes, since they are the victims of this thing. I mean, they're not the victim, but they are certainly personally affected by what happened to their loved one.
Yeah, Kevin, and can you let me know what news outlet you're with?
I'm with Decisions. It's a podcast, Decisions 2.0 here in Montgomery.
All right. If you'll give me just 1 second, I'm going to put you on hold and go and see if Gina's available.
Okay, then.
Bernard Blues and Barbecue
That's all
is
right.
September 6th through 7th in Coleman. The event is a weekend of family
just
fun,
call anybody.
soulful blues music, mouth-watering barbecue,
Don't you know?
handmade arts and crafts, and more. For more information, see the calendar of events
So
at
it's not good for all those chemicals.
www.alabama.travel.
Man. I'm trying.
Fiesta 2025 in Birmingham
healthy
is
here.
September 27th. Fiesta provides the opportunity to journey through over 20
I'm on the phone
represented
with the governor's
countries
office. Okay.
and experience Hispanic art, music, food, and dance. There will be a wide range of things to do, including storytelling, wrestling exhibitions, children's activities, soccer, authentic Latin food, and much more. For more information, see the calendar of events at www.alabama.travel.
Hey, Kevin, are you still there?
Yes.
All right, thanks for holding. I appreciate you waiting for a second. So I literally caught her as she was walking out the door to go on the road today, but
Okay.
she asked that I please give you her email, or please give you her email address if you don't already have it, and that she will be on the lookout from any correspondence from you.
Okay. I wanted to get her on the show for a second, but because by that time he'll be dead. So okay.
Yes, sir. Well, if you email her, I'm happy to pass along a message to her and flag that your email will be coming to her. But she's also ready and on the lookout for an email from you.
Well, what's her email address?
It is Gina, spelled Gina,
Mm-hmm.
dot Mayola, Maiola,
Mm-hmm.
at governor, spelled out.
Yeah. G-O-V what?
Dot
Spelled governor.
Governor.
Okay.
Dot Alabama, spelled out.
Okay. Well, that's a long email address. Okay. Okay.
And
So I
Kevin,
got.
like I said,
Mm-hmm.
no, go ahead.
No, Gina dot Mayola at governor.alabama.gov.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct. And as I said, Kevin, she is on the lookout for an email from you now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good
And listen,
sir.
how often do you see the governor?
Sir, I'm not in a position to speak on that, but as I
Oh,
said,
okay then.
Gina is on the lookout from an email from you. And if we can be of further assistance, just
Okay.
include it in that
Oh, I was just
email, and
wondering if you
we're
ever get
happy
to.
to help.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you ever get to see her. That's all. I never get to see
Yes, sir, I do.
her. Okay, then that's all I was wondering. Okay, nothing secret about that. Now, Anyway, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Hmm. I mean, all of you get to see the governor. I mean, it's not a secret. I mean, come on, you work up there. Give me a break. Anyway, moving right along. Well, I tried. I tried. I tried. Couldn't get anybody on the phone. It's not good. All those now that I'm drinking sugar free, now they tell me they ain't good either. Come on, y'all got to make my mind up now. The doctor tell me don't drink the sugar. You tell me that not drinking the sugar is worse for me than drinking the sugar. So who's right and who's wrong around here? Okay. Anyway, but I'm going to send her later. I'm going to send her a email, but I don't really want to. I ain't in the email business now. Oh, here's one right here. Okay, move right along. What does this guy says? White women in the workforce are substantially connected to affirmative action programs, and many of those women were easily qualified to do their job. Okay, so what's wrong with that? I mean, what's wrong with that? I don't see the negativity in that. Good morning, Michelle. I still can't pronounce your last name. I don't know. Yeah, I know it's I know it's a waste of time. But listen, you can't say that I don't reach out. I reach out to people and try to get the question from them, but you'll never get you never. Do you know in the state of Alabama, if you record somebody's call, you don't have to tell them. Okay, you don't really have to tell them as long as that's a logo. As long as uh, don't take me for that, but I know you. As long as one of you know that the call is being uh, recorded. So I knew that the call was being recorded. Okay. Moving right along to other things. I got some other things here. Chemicals. Well, there's chemicals in everything. There's chemicals in soap. At one time, they said the toilet paper wasn't good for you, and boy, that's gonna make a stinky situation. Because I don't, you got to use it. As a matter of fact, if I was a white guy, I'd be really ticked off the toilet paper's white. I really would be. I'd be ticked off. Why can't y'all make it pink or something? I mean, I don't know. They can't do it though. Anyway, Birmingham broad daylight shooting. The death of a 42-year-old man has been ruled justified. Well, must be just. I don't know exactly what the story is, but they said. Um, Now, here's a story that we didn't hear much about it in Montgomery, but it did happen here not so long ago. A suspect is charged after two men abducted from a Montgomery motel, stripped, beaten, and robbed. You see, it's not just enough to beat them and rob them. They're gonna make you walk around naked while they're doing it. Now, see, that part I don't quite get. Okay, I mean, you done took the man's money, and now you're gonna take his dignity. Leave a man some dignity. You left him broke. That's bad enough. You done took his clothes. You didn't hit him, beat him, and make him walk around naked. I don't know. But anyway, a 23-year-old is being held without bond after authorities say he and another man kidnapped, stripped, and beat two men during a Montgomery robbery. Marquise Leon Chopper Barnett is charged with 2 counts of kidnapping and 2 counts of robbery, according to the court record. And Camilla, go to the thing and see what they look like. Court and jail records do not reflect the arrest yet for the second suspect. The ordeal began a few days ago at 2:40 in the morning, okay, at the Studio Lodge on Eastern Boulevard. Authorities say that the other suspect confronted the two men in the motel, brandish a rifle, not just a gun. And that's probably the guy I seen walking down the street the other day with the rifle. Okay, and we allow people to walk around the street here with rifles. Okay, rifles. Okay, not just guns, but rifles. Who's that guy on TV that used to carry the rifle? What is his name? What was the name of that show? Anyway, he had a rifle with a trick thing on him. He was faster with the rifle than everybody else was fast with their gun. So I'm just telling you, I can't think of the name, but when I think I'll let you know. So I guess now we're gonna let people walk around town, with rifles now. Okay, I can't. Somebody knows the name of that show came on TV. What's the name of that show? Oh man, I cannot think of it at the moment. But he had a rifle, a fast guy with the rifle too. As a matter of fact, what was the name of that show? Well, I'll think about it in a little bit here. Okay, I'll think about it a little bit. Okay, so let us continue on. The Rifleman. That's it. Hey, Mabel. Hey, Sable. How you doing? I'm glad you're still with us. Okay, the Rifleman. That's right. The Rifleman. That's right. So I appreciate that. Well, that's what we're doing now in Montgomery. We're walking down the street with rifles. I mean, somebody has got to be. If you believe that the Second Amendment from the Constitution of the United States meant that any jack thug can walk around the street with a rifle, and now they gonna rob a guy with the rifle. I mean, really, and we don't want them to have ID. We don't think now we don't think that we can require you. An ID won't stop fools. I agree with you. I agree. They won't stop fools. They won't. But however, maybe if we make you get an ID so people can ID you when they see you, and I'm telling you something, I'm surprised a lot of folks ain't been shot already. Police come up to you and you got a rifle in your hand, man. I'll tell you what, I'm on high alert. I mean, first of all, can somebody give me a reason why you need to walk down the street with a rifle? Okay, I mean, why you ain't the rifle man? Why do you need to walk down the street with a rifle? Any street. I mean, in Atlanta, they're crazy. I got that part. They're crazy. They got streets, pink streets and red streets and all kind of things. I understand them over there. But why would a man? I can understand one on your side. Okay, police carry a gun, you carry a gun. That's fine. But why would you need to walk down the street with a rifle in the city of Montgomery? Is there no one that uses common sense to say that you don't need to do that? And then yesterday, we got a guy that didn't have a rifle, but didn't have no clothes on, going down the street on his bike with all of his glory showing. I mean, yeah. Matter of fact, he made me a little jealous. But anyway, he going down the street with nothing on, not a stitch of clothes on a bike. So, now, me personally, I'd have been I'd have thought that hitting that bar in the middle there would kind of make it uncomfortable, but evidently it didn't make it uncomfortable for him. So we need some mental institutions. We really do. We need some mental institutions. Okay. I don't know. Now here's something right here. I would never understand. I would never understand this one. In Blount County, Alabama, a man has been convicted of drugging, sexually torturing a 9-year-old with a gun to her head. And just for the record, it's a white guy. Just for the record, what kind of human being can this be? Really? And he's 48 years old. His name is Ronald Shane Crow. They charged him with sexual torture of a child under the age of 12, distributing a controlled substance to a minor, first-degree rape, 3 counts of first-degree sodomy, sexual abuse of a child under 12, and 2 counts of unlawful imprisonment, indecent exposure, menacing, said the district attorney up there, Pamela Casey. There are no words to describe what this young lady endured. What kind of man? I mean, honestly, God, what kind of man would do it? Okay, he ain't a man. Okay, now this is the kind of guy right here that needs to be not chemically castrated. They need to just cut his wing off. I mean, because he don't need it anymore. He can pee the other way. He can sit down like women do. Because he obviously he don't know what to do with that thing down there. So we need to just, and if we can't cut it off, well, we certainly need to chemically castrate him so he can't never use it again except to pee, and that's it. I mean, what kind? Now even crooks don't like crooks who mess with kids. Okay, so he gonna catch hell in jail. Okay, and they better put him in a certain segment of the prison, because if not, he gonna catch hell. They gonna show him what it's like to be to take advantage of somebody. Yeah, they're gonna pass him. They're gonna pass that brother around. They're gonna pass him around. Everybody in jail are gonna have a good time with him. Whew, boy, I tell you, man, 200, and he got a bond, $200,000. Okay. Anyway, moving on to other things. Time is almost up here, so I got to keep moving now. Montgomery police reported over the last month, they've had 51 guns were stolen from vehicles over a 1 month period. You know what I'm thinking? You need to make sure it ought to be a fine to leave your gun in your car. Okay, so somebody can steal it. Really, put it in the trunk. If it's in the trunk, okay, you did your due diligence to make sure that it wasn't. Or if you leave it in the glove compartment, lock the glove compartment. And if those two things don't happen, then you need to get fined. Okay, because now 51 guns are on the streets of Montgomery. 51, and so now somebody, it's probably, and this rifle thing probably came from one of those people too. Okay. At least 51 guns were stolen from vehicles in Montgomery within a month, and 14 of those vehicles had been left unlocked. Okay. Several vehicles had multiple weapons inside. Montgomery Police Chief James Grayboy said, okay, a couple of days ago, during an update from the public safety, there was everything from the handguns to assault rifles stolen. Stolen guns are a primary source of weapons that are used in crimes. Okay, so we ought to find, if nothing else, a city council needs to find people who get their guns stolen. Hey, if you put them in a position to be stolen from your vehicle, then you need to pay the cost. Okay. In 2024 report from Everytown Gun Safety, a gun control group using FBI data shows, on average, at least one gun is stolen from a car every 9 minutes in America. Every 9 minutes, you get a gun that is stolen from a car, according to the FBI. Okay, the rate of gun theft from cars is triple what it was a decade ago. Okay, cars parked at residences and driveways and outside homes are the most common source of stolen guns. Okay, it only takes a little bit of, first of all, put it in the trunk. Okay, put it in the trunk and put it in one of those boxes. Put it in one of those gun lock boxes. Because I used to carry one all the time. I just, it was too heavy, so I just got tired of carrying it. But again, yeah, they will still find a way. But let me tell you something. If your gun is on the seat or in an unlocked glove compartment, all you can do is bust the glass out the window, pull the glove compartment thing down, bam, you got the gun. If it's in a lockbox and if it's in your trunk, they won't be able to do that. So there are things, okay? There are things that you can do. So people at least try to make sure that they don't get your gun, okay? I'm just saying, there will, and some people, they still, yeah, they may. Well, they may. Somebody, well, it was a white guy, who did that terrible thing to that child. It was a white guy. I mean, it was. Well, I don't want to think black folks do everything. This was a white guy. I mean, crazy guy, as a matter of fact. Okay. Yes, brandishing a weapon in a threatening manner is illegal in Alabama under disorderly conduct laws. Alabama Code 13A -11-9. It includes waving, flourishing, displaying, or holding a weapon in a certain way. So I'm thinking, if you're walking down the street holding a rifle, you know, at the ready position, then we would have to call that. Wouldn't we have to call that menacing? I mean, there's got to be something we can do about this whole gun thing. I'm getting tired of hearing the district attorney and everybody knows. I get so tired. I'm just tired of hearing it until somebody and most people don't care about it, but until somebody gets killed that they know. Okay. And then the other day, there's some fool with a gun shot down a medical helicopter. Okay. He shot at a medical helicopter, wounding the nurse, a woman who was trying to help somebody on a medical helicopter. A man has been arrested in Autauga County, so it don't just happen here. He allegedly shot at a medical helicopter, officials confirmed last Wednesday at about 4:20 a.m. on September the 17th. A medical helicopter was dispatched to County Road 51 in Autauga County, where the helicopter had been in use had to use an open pasture for landing. So now we got, so when the Autauga County deputies arrived, Harold, that's the guy's name, they located the alleged source of the shot, a 48-year-old Peter Ellison, who was arrested at the scene. That's got to be a white guy. That's got to be a white guy. Yeah. I mean, black folks shoot at each other. We don't shoot at helicopters. Okay, that's got to be a white guy. Ooh, some of these stories are just too good to let go. I mean, yeah, and I'm glad I wasn't on it. Okay. Now, here's one. Alabama child has been found unharmed. Finally some good news. Unharmed in Montgomery after suspected kidnapping. Police say a 7-year-old boy was reported as being kidnapped from Alexander City. Was found Sunday night in Montgomery restaurant unharmed. Well, at least we got some good news. And so, what does Greg say? It includes waving, flourishing, display, holding a weapon. Yeah, in a way that appears threatening. Yeah, well, if you're walking down the street with a shotgun, as far as I'm concerned, you're threatening me. Okay, so I'm calling the police. Okay, and I'll lie on you. I'll say he pointed it at me anyway. I'll just tell the police. Yeah, he pointed it at me. Get that fool off the street. I mean, what? I can't think of any reason why you need to walk downtown with a shotgun. I mean, you can't shoot deer, not downtown. You can't shoot them. They don't hang out downtown. They hang out like in people's backyards, stuff like that. They don't really hang out downtown. So they certainly don't hang out on the Southern Boulevard or the Eastern Boulevard. So why in the world would we allow people to walk down here with a shotgun, with a rifle? This ain't the rifleman thing. Okay, they ain't the rifleman. You can't tell me that you're protecting yourself. I'm just wondering. And last week there was somebody throwing rocks off a bridge on the freeway. I mean, we got some crazy people. We need a big old mental hospital. Yeah, we do. We need a mental hospital. Okay, we do. These people have got to be on drugs. I mean, they've got to be on something that messes with their mind. I mean, that's just what it's got to be. Okay, it's got to be. Okay, I'm just saying. And you remember last week when somebody said that when the lady who said the terrible things about Charlie, she's a teacher in Montgomery. I knew she wasn't going to get fired. I mean, listen, they are, and listen, I don't blame the school for acting at least with an absurdity in their mind about the things that she did. I that is absurd. Yeah, I agree with that. But the Supreme Court has already said, you can't fire people because they say they're extra. And I'm with them, especially on your public. Now, if you're using school equipment to do it, I'm with you. Okay. You got to call the sheriff. All the police are at the mayor's house right now. Really? Are they over there? I have to call him and see what he's doing. Yeah, yes. But anyway, I don't know if they're over there or not. So he'll have me calling Sheriff Cunningham, and then he'll look at me like I'm crazy or something. All right, I'm just saying. Anyway, so what else is going on, everybody out there today? What's going on? And here's another. Can somebody tell me what fentanyl is? Because I really don't know what it is. Is it like cocaine or something like that? I mean, I don't really know what it. I've never had the cocaine thing either. Um, but evidently, it's addictive, and not only can you get high on it, if you touch it, you can get sick. So I don't really know. Um, I don't know what it is, but evidently a lot of people must like it. An Enterprise man has been sentenced to federal prison in the prosecutor described as a scheme to smuggle fentanyl into central Alabama from California. James Walker, 35. Can't be Jimmy Walker of Good Time. Good Time, temporary layoff. Okay, that ain't him. Has been sentenced to 43 months in federal prison for his role in a conspiracy to distribute fentanyl, said Kevin Davidson, acting U.S. attorney. Walker pleaded guilty earlier this year. He said following his prison term, Walker will serve 3 years on supervised release. There's no parole in the federal system. So what does that mean? I think that means you gotta do the time. You got to do the time. So when you go to the feds, so if you're going to do something, make sure that you don't do it on a federal installation or use federal facility to try to accommodate you in your mastermind crime scheme. Okay, do it in the city. They give you a little less time. Okay, I'm just saying, and you can get parole. According to the records, and Walker's plea agreement, the investigation began in March 2023 when the Federal Bureau of Investigation, otherwise known as the FBI, and the United States Postal Inspection Service began investigating a drug trafficking network moving fentanyl from California to Alabama. Listen, we need a lot of things in Alabama. We do. We need a lot of things in Alabama. But we don't really need fentanyl. Okay? I'm just saying we don't need fentanyl. I mean, if you're gonna bring something here, bring something we can eat. Okay, bring something we can eat. Okay, I don't mind a little marijuana, but then again, you can't use the federal government to deliver your stuff. Oh, it's a opioid. Okay then. All right. So does that mean it's from the poppy seed or something like that? The opium poppy seed? Is that what that means? Very small amounts will kill your friend. Wow. Okay then. Well, I don't. Yeah, I want to be high at least one time. I've never been high in my life. I never drank the beer. Never drank the drinking soda. I think are worse for you than beer though. But I've never drank one. My son tells me if I live to be 70 years old, I need to have a beer. Now my problem with that is that I've never had one. So if I do have one, somebody need to take my keys because I won't know if I'm drunk or not because I've never been drunk. So just take the keys from the car and lock the door in the room. But if I do drink something, I'm going to drink me some Hennessy. Okay, because that stuff looks good, nice and brown, and it looks smooth. And so, but I probably shouldn't start with Hennessy, should I? No, I shouldn't start with Hennessy. I may need to start with the with some wine, like little strawberry wine, something like that. We used to have something called Boone's Farm back in the day. My brothers used to drink that stuff. Okay, so I can't. Okay, no Boone's Farm either. All right, I'm just gonna leave that alone. Okay, well, listen, guys, I got to go now because as you can tell, I was getting to the end of this thing today because I'm trying to talk about so that I can get the time out. Uh, So tomorrow is my Friday because I don't work on Fridays. I'm never going to work for anybody again on Fridays unless there's a whole lot of money involved. So it's time for me to go. I'll bring a dynamite show on. We're gonna have somebody. We're gonna have a preacher and somebody's gonna be here tomorrow because on Thursdays we talk about religion because what you believe matters. What you believe matters. It is part of your life's philosophy. It's nasty. Hennessy is the devil's drink. Well, I don't know. Since when does the devil drink Hennessy? I mean, really? I mean, seriously? When is it? Have you ever seen the devil drink Hennessy? So how we know?
Thank you, Lord.
How do you know That's true. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta go fix the computer here in a second. Oh, don't forget. Okay, wait a minute. Don't forget our. Okay, wait a minute. I can't go. I almost forgot to do this, man. I got. Where's it at? Where's it at? My sponsor. Did I get talking so much today? I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing. So let's go here. Okay, my sponsor today is One Stop Wireless. Okay, so if you need a cell phone and you don't have one, well, they can help you get a cell phone. But let me tell you one of the things that One Stop Wireless can do for you that other people can't do. They can take a phone. Let's say you got a phone hanging around the house, right? You got a phone hanging around the house. You know, you stuck it to one of these people right there. Well, she can actually take that phone and get it to working for you. Okay, and whether it's from somebody else, you know, you didn't had it for about a year, so you never paid the bill and they turned it off and they wrote you off. Well, they can get it turned back on for you. Okay, so give them a call. Give them a call, 320-2988. Okay, One Stop Wireless at 3445 Atlanta Highway, right there on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard at the gas station. They're good people over there. And they got used phones, new phones, old phones, Apples, Samsung, you name it, they got it. So give them a call. Okay, give them a call right now, 320-2988. And it's been good being with you guys today. So let me go finish my other job. I got to do some stuff this morning. Good morning to you. Don't forget, you can always donate to the call so I can buy some groceries, because this is my job now. So I'm trying to make a couple of dollars here, and just help me out here. I'm gonna put a donation line on my Facebook page sooner or later, and y'all help me out here. Because where else you gonna get the truth from? Okay. How you gonna get what I give out? Nobody can. Bye. See you later. Have a good day, and a good night, and a good afternoon, and whatever you do, remember this. It is not the falling down that gives you strength. It is the getting up every time you fall. Keep getting up. All that's going to happen is you're going to get stronger. See you tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Have a great day. I'll be replaying this later on this afternoon, so we can all get together and look at it and laugh. See you. Bye.